Star Wars The Bad Batch is a series that might as well be labeled The Clone Wars Season 8, given the visual and tonal similarities between the two, and that's really all the reason Star Wars fans need to tune in. This isn't to say The Clone Wars is required viewing before diving into The Bad Batch. The 72-minute premiere is basically a movie unto itself, one that reintroduces Hunter, Crosshair, Tech, Wrecker, and Echo shortly after the events of Revenge of the Sith. What place is there for a team of misfits and outcasts in Palpatine's newly minted empire? What happens to an army bred for war once the war ends? Those questions make for a strong foundation on which to build a new series.
We do what we do. Strap in, kid.
There are plenty of larger franchise ties to be found, with Grand Moff Tarkin and a young Saw Gerrera both appearing early on, but if that was the only goal here, The Bad Batch might have trouble justifying its existence. The best Star Wars spin-offs are the ones that honor the example of the original trilogy, putting the emotional journey ahead of lore and minutia. Thankfully, that doesn't appear to be a problem with this series. Aftermath is very rooted in the emotional struggles of Hunter and his team, and this episode is able to add far more depth and nuance to these characters than we saw in the Clone Wars. The end of the war has an immediate and profound effect on all 5 characters, and they quickly begin to wrestle with their place in a post-war society. Over the course of the premiere, it becomes clear not every member of Clone Force 99 sees eye to eye with Hunter, with that growing friction going a long way towards further fleshing out these unusual clones and differentiating their respective personalities. The Bad Batch also introduces a brand new character in the form of Omega, the light-haired child featured in the second trailer. Without giving too much away about Omega or her role in the series, she proves an entertaining foil for the clones and a crucial piece of the puzzle in her own right. Tonally, there's a lot that could go wrong by injecting a young protagonist into the middle of a gritty post-war story, but anyone fearing the second coming of Jar Jar Binks needn't worry. Omega fits right into the plot and helps add to the emotional stakes involved. The pacing in Aftermath could be a little tighter. It never quite feels as though the premiere needs 72 minutes to lay the groundwork for the rest of the season, and that sluggishness is particularly felt during a detour to a familiar Star Wars locale late in the episode. This was always a recurring problem with the Clone Wars, a series whose defining philosophy seems to be never do in 2 episodes what you could do in 4. Beyond that, fans of the Clone Wars pretty much know what they're getting with this series. In terms of animation and music, it's cut from the exact same cloth, and that's definitely a good thing. The inclusion of many familiar actors and characters doesn't hurt either. D. Bradley Baker is even more of a one-man show than he was during the previous Bad Batch arc in the Clone Wars, and it can't be easy framing a series around 5 near-identical twins, but Baker is clearly up to the challenge. Star Wars The Bad Batch is a worthy successor to the Clone Wars, so much that it could easily be rebranded as an 8th season. It uses a loose end from that show to build a brand new story about the plight of clones after the war's end, and it's one that immediately resonates. The premiere episode captures a lot of what made the Clone Wars so great, including the slick animation style and the vocal talents of D. Bradley Baker, but it doesn't entirely escape that show's flaws either. But if you're craving more Clone Wars in 2021, The Bad Batch is definitely the show for you. For more on The Bad Batch and everything else from that galaxy far, far away, be it show, movie, game, theme park, book, or whatever else, you're already in the right place, IGN.